Everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be kicking off the holiday season, and today's recipe is going to be for a sponge cake, but it's going to be a little bit different. I am making a Funfetti sponge cake. This is the normal, delicious Guyanese sponge cake that we all know and love, just with a little more stuff inside. I hope you all enjoy, and this one right here is perfect if you've got little kids at home. Let's get into it. We're going to start off by mixing all of our wet ingredients. So into my stand mixer, I'm going to be going in with some softened butter. I like to use the golden cream Guyanese butter. If you do not want to use that, you can use unsalted butter sticks. And at this point, we're going to be going in with our sugar. I'm using granulated sugar today, but if you wanted to use brown sugar, you can use that as well. I prefer using the granulated sugar whenever making sponge cake because it melts easier and it doesn't make a dark color. I'm also going to be going in with some vanilla essence, and I just want to go ahead and beat everything up on a medium speed until it's nice and light and fluffy and the sugar has dissolved. And every once in a while, you want to go ahead and scrape the sides so this way everything ends up well combined. So I'm going to continue to beat this up and we're going to work on our dried ingredients. For the dried ingredients, of course, we're going to need some all-purpose flour. I'm going to get that in my bowl first. I'm going to be going in with a little bit of salt, and if you're interested in all of the full list of ingredients and measurements, they'll be listed in the description box right below the video. I'm also going to be going in with my baking powder, and I'm also going to be going in with some freshly grated nutmeg. Now this is optional. If you wanted to add in nutmeg or any other kinds of spices, you can definitely add them in at this time. And at this point, I'm just going to stir together all of these dried ingredients until they're well combined, and we're going to set them aside. So this is what the mixture should look like when it's done beating. It's nice and light, fluffy, it's gotten nice and lighter in texture, and it's ready for the eggs. So I like to crack all of my eggs into a measuring cup and then pour them in one by one until they're well combined while the beater is mixing. You do it this way, so this way the batter does not separate and the eggs combine more evenly. And every once in a while, you can go ahead and stop the mixer, scrape down the sides, and then continue mixing. Again, by scraping down the sides, you make for a more even mix when the cake is mixing. So now that all of my eggs are mixed in and the wet ingredients are done, it is time to go in with the dried ingredients that we prepared earlier. You want to go ahead and leave the mixer on the lowest speed so this way it doesn't overbeat. And then we're going to go ahead and gradually add in that flour mixture a little bit at a time. And once all of the flour is mixed in, it is time to go in with a little bit of milk. Now I'm using regular whole milk today. If you wanted to use the canned evaporated milk, you can definitely use that as well. This is just going to add some nice moisture to the cake. So once we get that milk mixed in, we are going to go ahead and take off the mixer, scrape it down very well, and make sure everything is mixed in properly. And being that this is a Funfetti cake, of course, we're going to have to go in with our sprinkles. Now, I wanted to make sure to let you know that you do not want to use the little tiny round sprinkles. You have to make sure you use these long kind of sprinkles because the small ones tend to bleed in the mixture and all of the colors will start to mix. This kind of sprinkle will not mix like that. So now I have my 8-inch cake pan that I've greased with some butter and flour, and I'm going to add in all of my mixture into that pan. This right here makes one cake. Now if you wanted to make more, you can go ahead and double the mixture. It's a very easy mixture to make. And once you get the batter in the pan, you have to make sure you even it out and smooth it out so this way the top layer is nice and even when it's done baking. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cake bake at 350 degrees. If you find that your oven is too hot and it's getting brown too quick, you can go ahead and lower it to 325. The cake takes about 30 to 40 minutes depending on your oven and the size of the pan. While the cake is baking, I want to go ahead and make a quick glaze for the top. This of course is very much optional, but I like to add a little bit of glaze whenever I'm making a cake with some flavorings in it. So in my bowl here, I'm going in with some powdered sugar, and I'm going to keep on adding a couple of drops of milk at a time until I get a nice thick frosting-like texture. Now you do not want this to be too thin and runny or else it's just going to fall off the cake. And of course, you don't want it to be too thick or else it's not going to spread evenly. So make sure you mix in that milk little by little only. And this right here is the texture you're looking for. It's nice and thick, but it's also running off of the fork as well. So my cake is finished baking. I went ahead and I took it out of the pan once it cooled down a little bit. And once it's at room temperature on your cake pedestal or the plate that you're going to serve it on, it is time to pour on all of that glaze. So you want to make sure you pour the glaze on in the middle so this way it can run down the cake naturally. And once you get all of that glaze on, you can go ahead and just keep on pushing it until it reaches the sides of the cake. So all of the glaze has made it on top of the cake, and before it dries out, you're going to top it with some rainbow sprinkles. Again, this is a funfetti cake, so I'm going to put the sprinkles on top as well. And after about 20 to 30 minutes on the counter, the glaze should have set up very, very well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a slice to show you how amazing this sponge cake looks on the inside. And as you all can see, you see all of those sprinkles and all of that funfetti running throughout the cake. And this right here was such a soft and moist and fluffy cake in the end. Make sure you all give this a try, especially if you have little kids around or if you just want to elevate the normal Guyanese sponge cake for this holiday season. I hope you all enjoyed this video today. Please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. When you're subscribing to my channel, make sure you also click the bell notification icon so you're reminded every time I post a new video. And I'll see you all again with one of my new recipes. Bye everyone!